Did you know that men often start behaving in strange and unexpected ways when they realize they're dealing with a Sigma female? It's true. Your independence, strength, and self-sufficiency can leave them acting in ways they don't even recognize, sometimes a little awkward, sometimes a little unusual. Stay with me, because we're about to break down 8 surprising things men do when they come face to face with a high-value Sigma female. But first, what exactly is a Sigma female? She's a woman who refuses to fit into the neat little boxes society tries to create. She's independent, self-reliant, and confident in who she is. She doesn't chase validation, and she moves to the rhythm of her own life. For many men, that can be confusing. They're not always sure how to connect with or attract a woman who doesn't need them for approval. And that's where things get interesting. See, Sigma females often get mislabeled as cold, distant, or impossible to please, but that's a myth. The truth is, Sigma women simply operate on different attraction patterns than most people expect. So what actually happens when men encounter a Sigma female? Let's dive into the 8 unusual things men do when they realize they're in the presence of a high-value, self-defined woman. Number 1, they feel compelled to fix things. When men realize you're independent and fully capable of handling life on your own, something interesting happens. They suddenly feel the urge to step in and fix things for you. It's like an instinct kicks in, almost as if proving they can still be useful or protective, even when you clearly don't need saving. Now, this doesn't usually come from a place of doubt in your abilities. In fact, it's often the opposite. Your strength and independence can feel like a challenge to their masculinity, so they try to insert themselves as the hero of the story. It's not malicious, it's just the way many men are wired from an early age, to protect, to provide, to solve problems. But here's the catch. Sigma females already know their worth. We've built our lives on resilience, independence, and the ability to rise without anyone else stepping in. So, when men rush to save the day, it can come across as unnecessary, or even a little awkward. It's like watching a movie where the hero swoops in to save the damsel in distress, except there's no distress. Still, there's something kind of sweet about it. Their effort shows they want to matter, to play a role, and to feel included in your world. And while Sigma females don't need a hero, we do value men who respect our independence without trying to take it away. The most attractive thing a man can do isn't fixing what's already handled, it's recognizing your strength and standing beside it. So, the next time a man tries to fix something for you, whether it's offering career advice you didn't ask for or trying to solve a problem you've already mastered, just smile. Appreciate the intention, but remember, the true connection comes when he respects that you're more than capable on your own. Number 2, they suddenly want to be the leader. Here's another fascinating shift. When men realize they're dealing with a Sigma female, a woman who's confident, self-sufficient, and not afraid to walk her own path, they sometimes feel the urge to step up and play the role of leader. It's like a switch flips in their mind. She's so independent, maybe I need to show her I can lead, too. Suddenly, they act like they have to take charge, as if dominance is the only way to earn your respect. But here's the truth, Sigma females don't need a leader. We don't want someone to take the reins of our life, make decisions for us, or guide us. We've already mastered that ourselves. What we want is a partner, someone who respects our autonomy, values our choices, and stands beside us as an equal. The irony is that many men believe being the alpha will impress us, but in reality, forced dominance often feels like overcompensation. It's less strength and more performance. A Sigma female admires strength, yes, but true strength shows up as respect, authenticity, and emotional intelligence, not control. Leadership in a relationship isn't about who's in charge. It's about balance, collaboration, and mutual growth. When a man tries to take over, it usually stems from insecurity, like he needs to prove himself. But what he doesn't realize is that Sigma females are already impressed by men who don't feel the need to dominate. So, when men finally understand this, they stop trying to lead us and start learning how to support us. That's when real attraction happens, not from control, but from partnership. At the end of the day, Sigma females don't need someone to lead them. We need someone who respects that we're already leading ourselves, and who's secure enough to walk alongside us without competing for control. That's what real strength looks like. Number 3, they get extra protective. When men discover that you're a Sigma female, a woman who's fully capable of standing on her own 2 feet, they often respond with an instinct they don't even consciously recognize, the urge to protect. It's almost primal. They see your independence, your strength, and instead of admiring it quietly, some feel the need to step into the role of guardian. At first glance, this seems sweet. Who doesn't want someone looking out for them? But here's where it gets complicated. When men constantly try to protect you from situations you already have under control, it can start to feel less like love and more like a subtle doubt in your abilities. For example, imagine you're working late on a project. You've got everything organized, deadlines mapped out, and no stress in sight. Suddenly, he swoops in, offering solutions you never asked for, or suggesting you take a break like you can't handle the workload. His intention might be good, but to you, it comes across as unnecessary, and sometimes even patronizing. This doesn't mean Sigma women don't appreciate acts of care. In fact, it's deeply endearing to know a man wants to contribute. But the difference lies in respecting autonomy. True respect comes from recognizing that you're strong enough to navigate life without constant intervention. The most attractive men are the ones who can sense the balance, who know when to step in and when to step back. What makes this behavior weird is that it often says more about the man than about the Sigma woman. It reveals his need to feel useful, to prove that he matters, even when you never questioned it. For a Sigma female, this isn't about rejecting protection, it's about craving partnership over parenting. You don't want someone hovering over you, you want someone standing beside you, confident enough in your strength that he doesn't feel threatened by it. At the end of the day, the sweetest form of protection isn't jumping in to save you from challenges you already mastered, it's having your back when you actually need it, while giving you the freedom to shine on your own terms. Number 4, they hold back their emotions. Another strange behavior men show around Sigma females is emotional restraint. See, Sigma women have no patience for games, manipulation, or dramatic back and forths. You value clarity, calmness, and direct honesty. And instead of rising to that level of authenticity, some men misinterpret it. They assume that the only way to impress you is by staying stone-faced, stoic, and perfectly in control. So what happens? They start suppressing their emotions. They avoid showing vulnerability. They choose silence over honesty, thinking that detachment will make them look strong. Ironically, it does the opposite, it creates emotional distance and makes real connection impossible. For example, imagine a man who clearly admires you but never says it outright. Instead of expressing how much he values your presence, he hides it behind short answers, a poker face, or surface-level conversation. He thinks this makes him mysterious or confident, but to you, it just reads as closed off. The reality is Sigma females aren't impressed by emotional repression. What's truly magnetic is a man who has the courage to be authentic. Someone who can admit when he's stressed, share his ambitions without fear of being judged, or even express affection without worrying it makes him look weak. Think about it, emotional openness requires more strength than bottling everything up. Anyone can hide behind a mask, but it takes real confidence to say, "This is what I feel, and I'm okay with you seeing it." When men finally let their guard down around a Sigma female, something powerful happens. The relationship shifts from surface-level interaction to genuine intimacy. Joy feels deeper. Trust becomes unshakable. Conversations move from small talk to life-changing dialogue. The lesson here is simple. Sigma women don't want a man who performs strength, they want one who embodies strength through vulnerability. A man who knows that showing his heart doesn't weaken him, it makes him real. And real connection will always outshine a carefully crafted mask. Number 5, they lead with status. One of the most common mistakes men make when they realize they're dealing with a Sigma female is trying to impress her with status. This could be flashy job titles, expensive cars, elite social connections, or a running list of accomplishments. On the surface, it seems like a power move. If I show her my success, she'll see my value. But here's the truth, status doesn't impress a Sigma woman. Why? Because Sigma females have already detached themselves from society's approval games. You're not drawn to superficial markers of value, you're drawn to substance. Character. Integrity. The consistency of someone's actions when nobody is watching. When a man constantly leads with his resume, his money, or his connections, it often reveals the opposite of confidence, it shows insecurity. It's like he doesn't trust his personality, his wisdom, or his presence to be enough. He believes he has to perform success in order to be worthy of attention. And while some women might be swayed by material displays, a Sigma female sees right through the performance. Here's an example, a man on a date who spends the entire evening talking about his promotions, his network, or how many people rely on him. It might impress on paper, but in real life, it feels more like a sales pitch than a conversation. What's missing? Authentic connection. What actually lands with a Sigma female is much simpler, and far rarer, grounded confidence. A man who doesn't need applause to validate his worth. A man who can sit with silence, share stories without exaggeration, and show humility alongside his achievements. That kind of presence signals maturity, not performance. Put simply, don't pitch the image, bring the human. A Sigma female doesn't need your highlight reel, she needs to see the depth of who you are when the spotlight is off. Number 6, they get overly competitive. Another strange reaction men have around Sigma females is turning everything into a competition. The moment they realize you're independent, capable, and successful, some feel an urge to one-up you. They treat your strengths as if they're challenges, subtly or not so subtly trying to outdo you in work, social circles, or even hobbies. Maybe you casually mention running a 10K, and suddenly he's talking about his half marathon. Or you talk about a career win, and he quickly counters with one of his own, trying to reclaim the spotlight. On the surface, it may look harmless, but underneath, it reveals a deeper issue. He sees your success as a scoreboard. For a Sigma female, this is a major turnoff. You're not in competition with your partner, you're building a partnership. You don't thrive on rivalry, you thrive on mutual growth. What excites you is two people walking side by side, celebrating each other's wins without insecurity or comparison. When a man constantly competes, it creates tension instead of trust. It turns what could be teamwork into a quiet tug-of-war. And here's the irony, Sigma women don't even play the comparison game. You're not keeping score, you're focused on living authentically, achieving goals that matter to you, not proving anything to the world. The men who truly capture your respect are the ones who shift from competition to collaboration. They see your success as shared energy, not a threat. They're proud of you without feeling overshadowed, and they're secure enough to know that your shine doesn't dim theirs. Competition fueled by insecurity is fragile, it cracks under pressure. But collaboration builds resilience, trust, and a bond that grows stronger with every shared victory. And that's the dynamic Sigma females are always drawn to, a partnership where both people thrive, not a rivalry where someone always has to win. Number 7, they perform Mr. Perfect. When some men meet a Sigma female, they immediately feel the need to put on their best mask. Suddenly, they transform into Mr. Perfect, always saying the right thing, never admitting mistakes, presenting themselves as flawlessly composed. On paper, it sounds like the ideal way to impress. In reality, it creates distance. Why? Because perfection isn't real, it's a costume. It's a performance designed to hide flaws, weaknesses, and fears. But Sigma females aren't looking for a polished act, we're looking for authenticity. We'd rather see the raw, unfiltered version of someone than a rehearsed facade that feels hollow. The problem with Mr. Perfect is that he never allows himself to be vulnerable. He won't admit he's had bad days, made mistakes, or struggled. And while that might seem like strength, it's actually fragility, it's the fear of being truly seen. For a Sigma female, that comes across as emotionally unavailable, even robotic. Here's the irony, the very thing these men are trying to avoid, imperfection, is what makes someone relatable, trustworthy, and human. When a man owns his flaws, shows that he's learning, and is willing to laugh at himself, that signals real confidence. It shows he's not afraid of being judged because he's secure in his identity. The truth is, perfect feels fake, but realness builds connection. We don't want the untouchable image, we want the man behind it. Share your quirks. Admit when you're wrong. Talk about what challenges you. That vulnerability is far more attractive than a polished act. Put simply, show the person, not the performance. Because in the eyes of a Sigma female, real beats perfect every single time. Number 8, they try the mysterious act. Another move some men attempt around Sigma females is the forced mystery act. Instead of being straightforward, they intentionally withhold information, give vague answers, or craft a carefully curated enigma. It's the classic "I'll keep her guessing" approach, hoping it sparks curiosity. But here's the issue, with a Sigma female, this tactic backfires. Why? Because we can tell the difference between natural depth and manufactured obscurity. Real mystery flows from someone's unique mind, experiences, and layers of personality, not from playing hide-and-seek with the truth. When a man dodges direct questions, withholds details, or speaks in half-answers, it doesn't make him intriguing. It makes him look like he's hiding something, or worse, playing games. To a Sigma female, that feels like a power play or a smokescreen, and nothing turns us off faster than manipulation disguised as mystery. What we actually value is clarity and honesty. Directness signals confidence. A man who can openly share his values, intentions, and life without spinning it into a puzzle demonstrates trustworthiness and strength. It says, "I don't need to hide anything to hold your attention." True intrigue doesn't come from being secretive, it comes from being authentic, layered, and self-assured. A man who knows who he is and lives with purpose will always be more magnetic than one who tries to act like a riddle. So the attractive move isn't to create distance through vague half-truths, it's to offer transparency. Share your story. Express your values. Let your intentions be clear. Because for Sigma females, real connection grows in the light of truth, not in the shadows of pretense. The plot twist, when they realize they don't need to win you. Here's where everything changes. The moment a man finally understands that he doesn't have to compete, perform, or put on a mask to be with a Sigma female, the dynamic shifts completely. Suddenly, it's no longer about proving worth, flashing status, or outshining anyone. It becomes about simply showing up as himself. And that's the real secret. No grandstanding. No flawless act. No carefully constructed mystery. Just genuine presence. When a man stops trying to win you and instead focuses on being authentic, the connection deepens in ways that performance never could. For a Sigma female, attraction is not built on pressure or pretense, it's built on truth. It's built on two people meeting as equals, without anyone trying to outdo the other or fit into some role society expects. That's when the walls drop. That's when real intimacy begins. Because here's the twist, you were never looking for someone to rescue you, impress you, or lead you. You were looking for someone who could stand beside you, a partner, not a competitor. Someone who understands that strength doesn't come from dominance, but from the courage to be real. When a man realizes he doesn't need to perform, he steps into a deeper kind of power. The power of authentic connection. And that's exactly what resonates with a Sigma female: honesty, clarity, and presence. Final thoughts. So let's tie it all together. Men often default to certain behaviors when they cross paths with a strong, self-directed woman. They try to fix things. They step into leader mode. They get overly protective. They hold back their emotions. They flash their status. They compete. They perform perfection. Or they play the mystery game. All of these come from a good place, or at least, an understandable one. But none of them are the key. The truth is, Sigma females don't need saving, spectacle, or strategy. What we need is respect, openness, and partnership. Attraction happens when men stop trying to be impressive and start being honest. When they stop seeing you as a challenge to conquer and instead as a person to connect with. That's when the energy shifts from surface-level games to something much deeper, something real. Because the ultimate truth is this: we don't need a hero. We don't need perfection. We need authenticity. The man who understands that we'll never have to fight for attention, because his presence, his honesty, and his willingness to stand as an equal will naturally draw us in. That's when true attraction takes root. That's when it lasts.